Devin, first just on the shoe and how did it feel today that it was released today? You had obviously had him on and must have felt pretty good. You had a 20-point first quarter.
Yeah, it was a big day. It's been a long time coming, been cooking up for a while, so, excited to see it come to life and people will get their hands on them. So now I'm looking for consumer feedback and see how people rock with them, the feel of them, but they feel good to me.
Obviously, I asked Coach there, Coach, looked like you were going to put Colin in for Devin, and Devin kind of gave you no, I got it going, leave me in. Can you maybe take it from your end? You've done that before, and just saying, hey, look, I'm hot right now. Let me ride this first quarter out.
Yeah, it's a feel. Majority of my career, I played the first 12 minutes. We've gotten away from that, and, I'm fine with that. But, tonight was one of those nights where, just filling out the game, had it going a little bit, and I think I ran off a few more after that, conversation. So, it's good when a coach can trust you and, Colin can swallow the pill and go sit back on the bench. That's what our team is about.
Hey, Book, Coach Ott was talking a lot today about just how this time with Jalen out, with Grayson out, it's allowed different guys to kind of expand their games and develop in different roles. How beneficial do you think that has been, and how excited are you to see just what you guys look like completely healthy?
Yeah, I think it's super beneficial. There's no telling what can happen in a playoff series when you're going to need the next man up mindset and, building confidence in everybody. 1 through 15 is super important. So, like you said, a lot of people have gotten more opportunity probably than they expected and, have performed. So, it's not just one guy. It's everybody that we've plugged in. And, that says a lot about a team, when people can be out and you can still be successful.
Book, when a new calendar year hits, your numbers always go up. Is there something about the rhythm of a season that you attribute that to?
I think just as the season goes on, I get more comfortable and, as a team, we start figuring things out, together. So, that's how you want it to be. You want to get better as the season progresses. And, I think we've done that. We've taken steps in many directions in a positive way.
One with Clifford in the first quarter looked like the call that you've been trying to get to ask you about it without getting you fined, of course. How have you been trying to find that line of these, I'm not going to call it foul baiting, but the thing we see guys of your level doing to draw the fouls that are legally fouls?
Yeah, some people are better at it than others. I watch a lot of those guys and, they can, still be in their shooting motion, and if they don't get the foul, still be in control to be able to make a pass out of it. So it's something I've been working on. I don't want to be out there looking to foul bait. I've watched some back and, it looks like I'm trying to draw a foul, and they might not give you the benefit of the doubt on that. So, still trying to play my game, be aggressive, and, free throw is still a great possession for the team. It's a high efficient shot and you get to set your defense. So, still looking ways to draw contact because I do have the ball in my hands a lot.
Devin, the 20-point first quarter, it felt like we saw you score in a multitude of different ways against the switches they were throwing at you. Just in your game, how you kind of watched film and assessed your processing of it, how you feel like you've evolved when teams are throwing these multiple coverages at you, but you're still making quick decisions?
Yeah, just trying to create an advantage. Create advantage for our team, whether that's me scoring or, it leads to an open shot. So, like you said, just realizing what defense it is and, the quicker, we can make a decision. If it's 2 on the ball, just play advantage ball on the backside. If I feel like, I have a matchup that I like, score the basketball. So doing it in different ways to keep the defense on their heels.
And then when you look at the defensive end, it feels like that's the identity you step inside for you all. When you look at guys like Colin and Oso that play different roles for you on defense but still find ways to have that impact, how does that help you all kind of bridge together quarters and find success?
Yeah, it's always something that you can hang your hat on. When shots aren't falling, just turn it up a notch on the defense end. And, both of those guys that you mentioned, they understand that and they take pride in it. So, nobody on this team likes to be scored on. even when it isn't their man scoring and somebody breaks down on defense, like gets blown by, we communicate that through each other, and, we try to lock into the next possession. So, you got to hang your hat on the defense end.
Hey, Devin, what's kind of the most impressive part of the way Colin navigates the pick and roll? It seems like here the last few weeks he's really developed some good chemistry with Oso, and just in terms of being patient.
Yeah, they have a chemistry that's off the charts. They've been, running that 2-man game all summer also. So my favorite part is the way he shoots it. Shooting it on the move, shooting it on the catch. It keeps the defense on their heels. It opens up so much space in the paint for them, and tonight was an example of that.
With the Thunder here on Sunday, what does it say about the maturity of this team to not overlook the team that was here tonight?
Yeah, it's important. We're definitely not in the position to overlook any team. We'll never be in that position. So, we handled the task that was at hand, and we know we have a really good team coming in Sunday, and I think we're all looking forward to it. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.